Is my screen visible for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So now what we are going to, as we guys knows that today is our first day in the Fortigate firewall in English, okay? And the same way in a parallelly in Hindi also we will run, okay? So what are the concepts are there under the Fortigate firewall? What is the Fortigate firewall and what is the difference between other vendor in this Fortigate firewall that we will discuss, okay? As per the concepts, okay? So now today we will discuss about the fundamental and the course introduction, okay? So just let me connect the pen and later we will start that, okay? Okay, so what are the things that we're going to cover in this scenario, okay? That first of all we'll do the fundamentals, the basic understanding of the FortiGate firewall, then course introduction, okay? Then lab setup we'll do, okay? Then we will do basic, access of FortiGate firewall in CY base and the GY base and the CLI base, okay? And static default routing also we will do, and zone implementation will do, IPv4 implementation will do, okay? Then RIP T-suite will do, and the netting will do, netting network address translation will do, user group authentication will do, site-to-site VPN will do, and many more things that we will cover. But how these things that how we will perform the practical? So the based on EVNG, okay. So for that I have a VMware, okay, already setup is done and the lab is already set up. That I will help you to how to set up the labs and how to perform the practice, okay. So just a minute. What's going on? So already is there, and this is our VM, okay, virtual machine. Under this, we implemented multiple, instances like Windows Server, and in the same way we can use in the PNET also and the EVNG also, okay. That I will do. We can do this slab setup on Monday, okay. So no need to log in. What is the IP? According to this IP, we'll access that our lab setups, okay. 192. That this is our admin and Eve, okay. No need to save. So there is a many more concepts are there that we will cover. So what is the first option will be basic basic understanding that we'll cover today, and IPv4 default routing, okay. What is the default routing, how we'll do the setup, that I'm showing you. So static routes, static RIP, okay. Static routes is there. So in static routes by default there is this kind of lab we will set up, okay, for the practical. And let's suppose you are having multiple branches, okay, like not a multiple branches, single branches with a multiple zone, okay. So how you are going to configure and manage their reachability, okay. So like suppose this is your local area network site, okay. This is your DMZ site. If you guys don't know DMZ is a specific zone where we are generally keeping our web servers, and that where the servers which can accessible for the outside of the network, like public network also can access, the users who is inside that can also access the servers, okay. So that is we are calling as a demilitarized zone. So we're keeping in a specific zone, okay. So outside user, if it is coming to the firewall and it will reach to there, but it will not reach to our lane side. It will not allow to our based on our configuration, it cannot reach to our inside network, okay. So this is the DMZ side, and this is the second DMZ side. This will be our internet. How that this users will these users will reach ping to each other, okay. That we will configure based on the static default routing, okay. Clear? In the second concept, we are having a zone implementation. By default, this FortiGate firewall is not a zone-based firewall. We need to create a zone. We have an option that we need to create a zone. How we'll create that, I will show you in the practical. Okay. So later on, we have a RIP configuration. In the same way, we have a RIP configuration. So let me close this lab and I'm just going to open the RIP. After that, where is the RIP? Yeah. So where RIP is there, static route is there, static RIP is there. So static and RIP, both the topology will be kind of same. So one side we will use a RIP, another side we'll use a static routing, and how this is not a normal RIP like which you're using inside of your routers or switches. This the way of configuration is a little bit different in the FortiGate firewall. Let's suppose this is your inside network and you're running with the RIP protocol, and these are your DMZ side, and both are running in a static default routing. Okay, but if you are running RIP in this side, and in the let's assume you have multiple branches connected in this side, right? Multiple branches or multiple devices are there behind of this router. Okay, then there is not possible to so that is configured one by one as a default route. Okay, so how this FortiGate firewall will work, and how in under the RIP we can inbuild our static route, so that can they can advertise their network with this with their neighbors, or neighbors can advertise their network with routers, and same as well as firewalls, and how the inside user can access the internet. Okay, to whom we can allow, to whom not. Okay, that we will do the configuration. Clear? Then after that, RIP2 setup also will do, and the netting. Netting is a very important concept for the any network security engineer. What is the netting? Anyone knows? Hello.
Public to private and private to public, sir.
Not only public to private, private to public. Here even we can do the private to private and public to public also. Okay. And
Okay.
the netting is allowing by default, as we knows in the basic CCNA, if you knows about the fundamental. Uh, let's suppose this is in your real time network. Okay, this is your inside network, which is switch, and switch is the PC with the private IP. Okay, private IP inside. Okay, this is your private IP. Okay, these are your private IP, and this is connected with the internet. And this is there is a public user like us. Okay, so public IP cannot reach to the private IP, this IP, and private IP also cannot directly connect with the public IP. Okay, means there is no communication between private to public and public to private. To resolve this issue, only the net is there. Okay, by the using of network address translation, we can use one particular interface or particular IP, public IP, so that the private IP user can reach to the firewall. Firewall can check the netting table and netting configuration based on the allowed. It will map their private IP into the public IP. Okay, private IP into the public IP, and it will send it will the firewall will send the packet based on this public IP. Okay, and it will go to the outside to the internet. Okay, so like that we can do the configuration, and how inside network will work, and how other DMZ side will be accessible from in the same way. If inside user can access the outside, in the same way, let's suppose we are having this side, we are sitting simply, we are in the office, and in the weekend, and suddenly some issue is there. So to verify the issue or some modification, we wanted to access this our router or switches inside the which is available into our premises. So the outside user can also, by using the public IP, they can access it through this. By hitting this public IP, they can reach to this private network they're reaching like 22 with the port number 22 or 23. So for the telnet and SSH. Okay, and let's suppose someone wanted, we are having some web servers inside of our network which the publicly accessible. So if someone wanted to access by hitting this 101.1.1.100 with the port number 80, means HTTP. Okay, this port number is built with the HTTP, right? And the 443 is a for HTTPS, right? So HTTPS is a more sir, secure as compared to the HTTP. So whenever the user is hitting to this IP with the port number 443, it will send to that this server. Okay. Whenever user is hitting whenever user is hitting this IP by using the same IP. Okay, with the port number 80, so it will again send it this server only. Okay, because here we are running this our website with the both HTTP and HTTPS as well. Correct. Got it.
Yes.
There's a multiple how many types of nettings are there? Static net, dynamic net, and paid. So which one supported by this Fortigate firewall, which cannot support by this Fortigate firewall, that we will also compare. And other firewall can support the dynamic routing, dynamic netting, but this Fortigate cannot work on the dynamic protocol, dynamic netting. Okay.
Okay.
So later on we'll work after this user group authentication. Let's suppose in this picture only I will try to explain you. And let's suppose this website I have some okay, if I wanted to allow some particular users, whether it is inside of network or the outside of the network, they can simply I will create to access these websites. I will create some credential for them. Okay, so that after putting this credential only the user that outside or inside user can come inside to this network. Okay, to authorize them. So this is called as a what is that user profile. Okay, user group authentication. So after that site to site VPN introduction, what is the VPN that we will discuss, and what are the attributes using by the IPsec VPN, and what is the difference between the many kind of VPNs are there in the market, like AD VPN, and the GRE tunnel, IPsec VPN, site to site, remote to site. Many VPNs are there. What is the difference, and what are the important on that, and which we are going to use based on the scenario that we will discuss. How we will do how we'll do the practical on this. So we have a specific setup on this. So if you are having a multiple branch with the same device like FortiGate firewalls only they are using, at that time we can use a site-to-site tunnel. Okay, like let's suppose one branch is available into India, another branch is available into the Australia. So how the communication will be happen with this both the different geographical network. Okay, so in India you have one local area network site. In Australia you have one local area network site, and both the branches are connected towards internet. Okay, through the internet they are connected by using a public IP. So to establish the connect, because public network is easy, but it is not secure, right? To making a secure, we required IPsec tunnel. Okay, we creating some logical tunnel. Between this tunnel only, our traffic will send and receive. So by using, because public IP is a unique, and we will advertise this public IP for this firewall and this branch like Australia branch, and India branch will make a peer with this 2.2.2.1. Okay, so the public IP is unique. So it's kind of like when you are having a multiple branches with the same devices, that time we can do the side to side VPN also. Okay, got it. So both the different geographical network users can access. Clear? Then what? Then other let's suppose you have a different kind of multiple branches you are having, but not in the same kind of devices using. Okay, in a different location. Okay, let's suppose you are having some branch in India. Okay, the HO branch is in India. Okay, and one branch is UK, second branch is in USA and Australia and the New Zealand. Like many branches are there, but they're not using same kind of devices. Okay, like one side we are using a FortiGate firewall, second side we are using the router, one side we are using a Fortinet, second side we are using a ASA firewall, second side Juniper and the Palo Alto, and many more like Sonic Wall, other devices are there where we require to establish the tunnel. Okay, so in between there is a not how we are going to configure the step, how you're going to making a tunnel between them different devices, that we will cover. Okay, and in the same way we have a AD VPN. If you're in this scenario, if you're creating an IPsec VPN, that in what it will be happen once a tunnel is created, this in India can talk to the UK, and the same way UK can talk to the India. Okay, in the same way they can also talk to each other like this, and they can also talk to like this. Okay, but if the UK wanted to communicate with the USA, or UK wanted to communicate with the Australia, or New Zealand wanted to communicate with Australia, that is not possible, right, with the IPsec tunnel. So to prevent that, to provide this, to achieve that that whether the multiple BO can multiple BOs can multiple BOs can communicate each other, right? So in this scenario, we will use a AD VPN, okay? And AD VPN is not possible when you are having a multiple different kind of devices. If AD VPN is possible when you are having a all branches, you are using same brand, okay? So what we will get if the AD VPN we are going to configure in this scenario, that branch to HO to BO and BO to HO will be configuration will be fine. Okay, they can configure these devices are configured and they started the communicating. Okay, but this is in ADVPN. This will be a hub. Okay, hub, and this will call as a spoke. Hub means this guy will tell, this guy will listen. Okay, like this the scenario will hub and spoke. Do you know that topology? Have you heard about that hub and spoke? BO to HO you hear, right? But you don't know about this, hub and spoke. So spoke, these branches will call as a spoke in the ADVPN. And once we configure the ADVPN, the BO to BO and BO to BO and BO to BO configuration can be possible. Okay, whether they're in UK, Australia, or somewhere anywhere in the world with the public IP. Got it? Is it done?
Clear, sir.
Yeah. So in what we can say like this, in this kind of configuration, we can call it a fully meshed topology. Okay, full meshed topology or full meshed IPsec VPN we can say, because all are connected to each other, right? But we are not getting same kind being under the IPsec. It is possible to create BO to BO to BO communication in the IPsec VPN also, but we required again the configuration between UK to Australia and New Zealand to UK. So this kind of configuration, once they are started communicating, then again it will start the with IPsec VPN also we can achieve that, but the hectic is for the network administrator who is going to the configure that. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
So these are the things that IKE version and will create. So after that, there is a multiple way to configure. Multiple way to configure this IPsec VPN in the template wizard. In the template wizard, you just need to do the next and finish. That all the attributes will be selected by these firewalls only, not by the user. Okay, not by the any engineer. Okay, if you wanted to make that kind of attributes that you want to select based on your requirement, okay, to secure your network, like Defi element group on AES or day 3 days, many more are encryption and that other we are having protocols, right? So we can select by ourselves and it will be used. We can select, we can select the attribute same attribute in the both the side. Okay, and again it will become it is based on the certificate also and the based on the preset key also, that we will also cover on this, how to configure IPsec tunnel between two different brands based on the certificate and based on the preset key is nothing but you need to put some password, and certificate is nothing but you need to generate some certificate. So the based on this the certificate must be used in the both the side, so they can authenticate each other and they can transmit their data, okay, in the different locations. Got it my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again we'll come to the CLI mode. Also we'll configure in the CLI mode ASA firewall, Palo Alto. We'll cover all these things. Okay. Then what is the transparent firewall? And transparent firewall is nothing but the firewall. Let's suppose you are having a one client. The client is requirement is that already all is running well with the my existing devices. It is running well, but it is not secure because I'm using a router. Okay. Here, let's suppose everything is working with the like this. Here configured, there is two branch in B1 and B2. Okay, in B1 and B2 both are connected with the one internet, and both are running with the IPsec tunnel. Okay, like IPsec tunnel, and many more things. Netting is there, MPLS configuration is there, and IP setting is there, and we can say like ACL is there. Many more thing has been configured into this, and to same has been configured into this side also. Okay, but our client requirement is I don't want to disturb my running network. Without disturbing this network, you need to secure my network. So which one will be secure our network? The firewall only will secure our network. So if you are using the firewall, you know so even when you're connecting, let's suppose there is a switch and under the switch there is a firewall. Okay, let's suppose this side also we're creating a switch under the firewall. But whenever you're connecting the firewall, this interface required a IP to establish the communication. Correct? So avoid these. Any firewall is working with the two modes. Okay, one is a net mode. Okay, another is a transparent mode. Okay, and the same way, like a transparent, we are having one more concept that is we call virtual wire. Okay, so that we'll discuss also. Okay, so netting means we require to assign an IP. If we are using this firewall is a transparent mode, this mode, so it will work like a L2. We no need to configure any kind of IP into their interfaces. Okay, so without disturbing, we'll just start what security profile we can enable, and we can create a policy, and based on this policy and security profile, this firewall can be secure a network, but it no need to change any IP or anything. Okay, without disturbing your network, without downtime, you can use. But what is the difference between a transparent firewall and the vwire? Vwire is also like a transparent firewall. The major difference is there is a management IP we are providing in while the configuration of the this transparent. But in vwire we don't need to assign any management IP to access these firewalls. Okay, got it? Is that clear? Okay, after that, HA is nothing but high availability. As you guys knows, you are most of the guys are working, right? So HA is why HA, like HA is secondary option. If the primary is down, the secondary must be available to send our packet, right? So if you see properly this video, this topology, in this topology, what we are having, what this topology trying to say, this topology is trying to say, if you check properly, the port number one is connected with this side, port number two is connected to this side, port number three is connected to the internet. In the same way, port number is one is connected to the inside, port number two is connected to this side, and port number three is connected to the internet. Same in the port number four and the port number five, both are connected in the both the side port number four to port number five, port number four, port number five, port number two, port number one, port number three. Like this only we are connected, right? So uh, before configuring the HA, okay, high availability means if let's suppose the packet is traveling by this firewall to the internet and this firewall to with the internet, if suddenly that this firewall is down, the everything should be start sending packet via this way. Okay, every user will start sending packet via this way. Correct? So that's the reason, if what we required in the both the firewall, the firmware version like OS version must be in the same, interface type must be in the same, interface number must be in the same. Okay, this both will be a heartbeat interface will call in the HA. Okay, they will send a heartbeat, no, right? I will show while the configuration, it will the symbol will be also kind of heartbeat only. Okay, so this both the interface will be called as a heartbeat. Let's suppose once this primary is down, everything configuration will come automatically into this firewall. We require to configuration everything on this HA only. Rest will directly sync with this secondary firewall. Okay, we don't need to configure anything onto this. Once again, if the firewall is back and the preemption is on this firewall, this firewall will become again active, or we can say the master, and again this firewall will become a backup. But if it is preemption is disabled, this firewall become again it will be, if it is coming up also, it will become a backup only, and it will become a master. Okay, got it? We'll go in depth about while doing the configuration. So server load balancing, this one more option is there in the Fortigate firewall, which is available in this Fortigate firewalls only, not into other firewall. So server load balancing, what is trying to say? So whenever you are having, let's suppose you are having one client, like e-commerce kind of client, like Amazon or Flipkart, where they are using multiple servers to handle the traffics, user traffics, right? So normal day, there's a very limited, packets are sending by the outside user, and they're trying to access your server like Flipkart or Amazon, right? Suddenly the traffic is coming due to the festivals like Diwali or Holi or anywhere, any festival. Suddenly the user traffic is increasing, and this firewall is sending to the packet to this servers. But there is having some limitation like 1,000 or 2,000 only connection can establish by the servers. But what if the traffic is coming to the more, in this scenario, obviously the company will bring some more servers to handle the traffic, right, to distribute the traffic. So in other firewalls, if you're using a like Palo Alto or some other firewalls, you require to make some load balancer kind of device to in between this. So the what how it will work, this will work like this. Okay, So half traffic will send via this, half traffic will send via this. In other, but if you're using the FortiGate firewall, that every traffic will come to the firewall, and firewall will automatically distribute this traffic to the each servers. Okay, equally or non-equally also, in round robin also, static also. We'll also that will discuss on that our practical time. Okay, is it clear? Then admin profile, like you are having a multiple engineers in your office. Some in junior, some is senior. So we just need to provide the rights to access the firewalls with minimum access or maximum access, full rights, or they can read, write, or they can also modify, like that you can do. VRRP. VRRP is a concept that you already learned in the CCNA, but VRRP is a very different concept in this FortiGate firewall. Generally, we are using a single logical IP as a gateway to for that our inside network. But what it will be done in this FortiGate firewall? In VRRP, we will use a multiple private IP. Okay, like this one. Let's suppose this PC is working with the 192.168.10.1. Okay, 10. Just a minute. This is working with the 10.1. The gateway is a 10.1. This is a 101.10. The gateway is like this gateway. It is working by the VIP. We can call as a virtual IP, and the gateway will be a 101.1. So it will work like the gateway will be 101.1 for this PC, and the same 101 for this PC, but 102 for this PC and 102 for this user. Okay. So let's suppose this packet are going towards this one, and some packets are going towards this one. Okay. But if you see properly, 101.1 is a master in this side. Okay, 102 is a backup on this firewall. But in the same way, not the same way, in different. This 101 is a 101 is a backup here. Here 101 is a master. Here 101 is a backup. Here 102 is a master backup. Here 102 is a master. Okay, so once this is once if anything is down, even 101 is down or 102 is down, this firewall will become a master for both the ISP. Okay, like backup will be also become a master, and the master will be also become a will be like a master only. Okay, so all the traffic will suddenly start sending packet from inside to the outside. Okay, like this. Got it? We will use multiple IPs, multiple virtual IPs here. Okay, then ADVPN, that already is discussed about that. ADVPN is nothing but auto discovery VPN
Sir,
for that.
virtual IPs, how?
Sorry,
What is mean by
what?
virtual IPs?
Virtual
Virtual
IP.
IPs.
A virtual IP, like we are having 192.168.101, right? 101 network only we are using, correct? If you
Yes.
check, the interface IP is 253 and 254, but
Yes.
gateway will be used for this device. Only a single gateway we can assign, not a multiple gateway, right? So instead
Yes.
of providing this interface IP as a gateway, we will use same range with a different IP. Okay, different IP. If you check 101.1 and 101.253 to 54, both are all are in the same class with the same range, right?
Yes.
But the IPs are different. So in the same range IP,
Yeah.
we will use this IP as a for this IP will become master for this one, 101.1.
Okay.
So someone will use 101 as a gateway, someone will use 102 as a gateway. So
Okay.
master, if 101 is this, let's suppose this is using 101. Okay, 101.1. So the packet will come like this, and this will go like this. Okay, when someone is using 102, the packet will come like this, and because the
Okay.
master
Okay.
102 is the master here, so packet will come. If suppose backup is down or master is down, here both will become a master, both the IP will become master, and
Yes.
every user will start sending packet towards this firewall. Okay,
Okay. I got the point. Okay.
got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
after
Yes.
that,
Thank you.
40 Fortinet dial-up VPN is there. That is very old version, old concept, which is still available in the Fortigate, not in the Palo Alto or Sonic Wall. It is removed from them. Okay, so after that we have that we will also do that setup, and secure socket layer SSL VPN. How let's suppose if you're working, everything is fine, and you're working in the office every day. Suddenly the pandemic has come like Corona, and user started working from home, and they wanted to access some server which is available into your office through their network, right? let's suppose I'm working from my home and I wanted to access my office, then I required some application or some media which can allow me to access my server which is available into my office from my home, correct? So how you're going to use that, we will cover this. Okay, then so SD-WAN is also it's a very big concept, but in every firewall or every routers are supporting nowadays the SD-WAN. Earlier it was supported by some ISR routers only, not by every devices. Okay, so SD-WAN is nothing but what we can do in the SD-WAN, what we will achieve in this SD-WAN technology by using the SD-WAN technology. Let's suppose you are having a multiple ISP, multiple interface to that, through that your users can go out, right? Your packet can go out. It will come to the firewall, and firewall is having a multiple option whether it will send by port 2 or port 3, right? When it is sending a port 2, the packet will go like this ISP side. If the packet will go by the port 3, but how we are going to define, because you are having a multiple path, right? So instead of you keeping, it will become physically, it will become like a multiple path only. But we will, by using a SD-WAN, okay, SD-WAN technology, we will bundle this both the physical virtual with physical interface in a single, like ether channel. In switching, have you learned that ether channel? By using ether channel, LSCP, PSGP protocols, we are using link aggregation control protocol and port aggregation control protocol. By using that, we are bundling some physical interfaces in a single logical interfaces, right? Then they will treat like a single gateway, right? So both the firewall, both the interface will become like a logical single path. So every packet will go like this. Okay, some packet we can define like this, some packet will define also we can also do the load balancing. Also we can also make some, one is a master, one is a secondary, like that. Also we can use based on the ISP. Like one is, let's suppose your ISP is having, one is 100 Mbps of speed, one is having a 200 Mbps speed. So obviously you'll keep as a primary as a 200 Mbps speed, right? So that one also we can do in the under that during the practical only. Okay. So what is the next? After that, we are having a FSSO. Let's suppose you are having a client, and the client are all are having all are all the clients are using. We have a one AD server inside our network. In this AD server, every user credential details are available. We created as a network administrator, the server engineer can, whenever the new employee is coming to your office, and they are keeping they're providing one PC to them, and the PC will become under this domain, like this just consume this amazon.com. So this PC will become also in the same domain, and this will be handled by in the centralized server that is called this AD. Okay, so after this AD, will give some credential to log in this PC to this particular user. So this user can access this. They can log in by using by that particular ID and password, right? But what if suppose the user who having a user is looking for the Outlook also, and that Fortigate also, and many more other website they are trying to access where login is required. So keeping a different credential for a different website, that is not good actually. So to prevent to to overcome that issue, we are having a FSSO, first single sign-on option. Okay, so by using this, the user will use single credential, that AD credential only, to access everything. Okay, got it? Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir, I have a question on this point.
Yeah, tell me, Jiba.
For the single sign-on, can we use the LDAP, our
Yeah,
Active Directory
LDAP is
users?
LDAP is also, both are same only. Okay,
Okay.
so guys, at least you can allow him, right? So LDAP also we can use LDAP, and the FSSO both are working the same. Okay.
Okay.
So after that, we have a virtual domain. LDAP, we don't have option to do the show in on the practical, but I have some live that I can show you without recording that. Okay,
Okay.
that is not possible to do that practical.
Yes.
So after that, VDOM is nothing but kind of VLAN, and we are having a switch, and if suppose you are having under that your local area network, you have multiple users and with the different like HR management or account. So the requirement is they can't communicate with each other. To in logical, to creating a logical boundary, we are having a VLAN concept in the switching. In the same way, we are having a VDOM to provide in by using the VDOM, that in the firewall, like I'm just showing you the practicals only. VDOM is there. So in this VDOM, what yeah, so in this VDOM, virtual domain, okay, so let's suppose we have a two multiple servers inside. This is our, we are doing the web hosting kind of service where this company is providing. Okay, and this web hosting company is keeping some servers inside their network. The client, like let's suppose this is a Tata and this is our Reliance. So the Tata and Reliance company, the web hosting by this one, okay, this company only. So the requirement is Tata cannot communicate to the Reliance, and Reliance cannot communicate to the Tata. Okay, Tata servers. Okay, they cannot communicate to each other. Got it? So for that we required a multiple firewall. Okay, so one firewall will be for specific for the Tata, one firewall is specific for the Reliance. So it is a very costly, right? It will become very costly and your budget is a low, so you can't do like that, right? So instead of purchasing a multiple firewall, you need to create one we need to purchase one single firewall, and you need to logically break this in a multiple pieces. Okay, so every configuration will is a specific and independent for that. This whatever the configuration you are doing in the root, like by default in VDOM there is a two things. One is a root, okay, another is a root one. So the primary will be your root, and the another file will become like a not primary secondary. There isn't two things, only root and root one. Okay, so root one, whatever your configuration policy and security profile, it will be impact for this one only. Okay, root one only. We are just assume this is a root and this is a for root one. Okay, yeah, whatever I'm configuring here, this will impact to the root and this will impact for the root one only. Okay, whatever the configuration for this secondary one. So it will become like two multiple firewalls. Okay, that we will show you. Got it? After that, what is our next concept? Link aggregation and the centralized management. Link aggregation, redundant interface, and the centralized management 40 analyzer, centralized management 40 analyzer. So 40 manager and a 40 analyzer is also a kind of device where what better we can achieve. I'm just showing you. This link aggregation first. I will it's a link aggregation. On this link aggregation, if you check, there is an let's suppose you are having a two multiple single ISP. Okay, single ISP you are having, and this is terminated with your router, firewall, or the switches. Okay, instead of if suppose this device is non-manageable. Okay, so what this device will come to this one only, and this device will come to the directly to the our port. We can keep, instead of just ignore this both the interfaces of now, simply one cable this switch, one cable into this router. Okay, and there is chances that this cable can be break, right? So instead of keeping a single cable, we can use this 8-port or non-manageable switch, and we can bring this both the cable. Okay, this both the cable, if one cable is down, then one cable is there to work, right? So like that we can do. This is called link redundant, and this will call it the ether channel. Okay, got it? So this kind of technology are for redundancy only. So and after that we are having a one more concept, that is a Fortigate analyzer, and this is especially this is out of NSE4, but but I'm just keeping this to for your understanding only. Okay, this 40 analyzer, 40 manager. So what is the use of 40 analyzer and 40 manager? So let's suppose you are having one multiple branches like this, okay, across the world. You have one branch in Australia, you have one branch in UK, where you are having one more branch in India. Okay, you have one more branch in Australia. Like that you are having multiple branches. So as a network engineer, you are operating from HO, that is your India branch only, that is your HO, and you are sitting here, and this is not possible to log in each and every firewall, right, to modify and configure. For that, we have a one centralized device that is called 40 manager. By adding all this device, we can add into this single point, and we will get a single dashboard for all the firewall. Whenever I wanted to change any modification for this firewall, I don't need to go this. I don't need to check a console for this one or this one. Okay, I simply log into this 40 manager. I will get all the details onto this entire firewalls, and whenever whichever I wanted to modify, I can easily modify there. Okay, by single dashboard. In the same way, log incident, whenever that anything is happened with these devices, or logs are generating, sending packet, or packet is down, or interface down, anything is happened, it is generating on logs, and the logs will directly send to the one centralized device that is called 40 analyzer. So that will also cover how the 40 analyzer will work and how 40 manager is working. Okay, Got it? So that's all, guys. These are the things that we will cover into this upcoming days. So thank you for your time. And if you are having any question, you can ask me. Is it fine? Can I stop the recording now?
That's fine for me. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, great. So we'll see you tomorrow for basic concept and for other practicals also. Okay. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day.
Thank you.